Welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Richard. Today I'll be talking about fever in children and how parents can manage them at home. So before we can get into what exactly is fever and how do you manage it, first we should know what is the normal body temperature. So a normal body temperature is between 36.5 to 37.5 degrees centigrade. If you're looking at Fahrenheit scale, it will be in between 97.5 to 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So for all practical purposes, you should consider fever if the temperature is more than 37.5 degrees centigrade or if it is more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So the question that comes to mind is fever dangerous? No, not really. First, we should try to understand why does fever come about. So it's basically the body's defense mechanism that manifests as fever. So it's just the body's way of trying to control a disease or an inflammation that is happening. So it's nothing but a signal that the body is trying to tell you that there's something not right. So there are many causes of fever. The commonest, of course, is an infection. The second is dehydration. After a vaccination, post-vaccination fevers are also quite common. And of course, there are many other reasons, but for the practical purposes, let's stick to these common reasons. Next, how do you check a fever in a baby? So of course, many a times parents call me and tell me, doctor, my child's forehead is really warm and I think baby has a fever. What should I do? So measuring the baby's temperature or trying to identify it by just touching the forehead of a baby is not really the right way of doing it. You'll need to actually check baby's temperature by using a thermometer. The old-fashioned mercury thermometers are no longer recommended for safety reasons. So it is advisable that you use a digital thermometer. So coming to the various types of thermometers, there are various types. The digital thermometer is the commonest, the simplest, and possibly the cheapest one available in the market. The other type is the electronic tympanic membrane or the ear thermometer. Then of course there's the temporal artery thermometer and of course the infrared thermometer. The latter three are quite expensive, not really recommended for home use. So I would suggest that you purchase a simple digital thermometer, which is quite cheap, easily available at all pharmacies, and use that to check your baby's temperature. So how do you check the temperature using a digital thermometer? So the thermometer can either be placed in the oral cavity, in the rectum, or under the armpit, the axillary temperature. For all practical purposes, I would suggest you check the axillary temperature because it is the most convenient place to check the temperature. So first and foremost, you'll need to switch on the thermometer. So press on the switch. The placement of the thermometer under the armpit is very important. So make sure that the tip of the thermometer is directly placed under the armpit. Okay. Many a times the thermometer is placed wrong and the temperature is checked this way, which does not give you an accurate reading. So it needs to be placed parallel to the body and the tip should be placed high up in the armpit. So leave the thermometer there until you hear a beep and then remove the thermometer and check the temperature reading. So any temperature, as I told you, more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit can be considered as a fever. So now that you've identified that your child has a fever, how do you proceed? So the aim of all methods of fever management is to make sure that your child is comfortable. Okay, so don't overdress your child. So ensure that your child is wearing loose clothes. So during a fever, children tend to develop cold hands and cold feet, and the common tendency for parents is to overclothe them. So put numerous layers of socks, gloves, and cover them in blankets because of course they complain that they are feeling cold. But this is not the right thing to do because it is only going to increase the baby's temperature. So what you need to do is ensure that your baby is wearing light clothes, just a thin top and maybe a half pant. Ensure that your baby is adequately hydrated. So make sure that they continuously drink lots of fluids throughout the day. Frequent sips of water is going to be very beneficial because they tend to get dehydrated because of the high fevers. The next, of course, is medication. So of course there are many drugs that can be used, medicines. The commonest what I would tell parents to give their children is paracetamol. So many a times parents tell me that, doctor, we've given the child paracetamol, but his fever never comes down and we have to give multiple other medicines. But the safest medicine during fever is paracetamol. Make sure that the dose is adequate, it's correct. So normally for paracetamol, the dose would be 15 milligram per kg body weight every 4 to 6 hours. So check with your doctor as to the exact dose, and always make sure that you're clear on what medicine you're giving, whether it's drops or it's a syrup. So clarify the dosage correctly with your doctor before starting any of these medicines. Other medicines, of course, are available, such as ibuprofen or mefenamic acid, but these tend to have side effects. So these should preferably be used only in consultation with your doctor. Another method to reduce the temperature is sponging. So when I talk about sponging, I'm referring to tepid sponging. So that is using water, lukewarm water, approximately 28 to 30 degrees centigrade warm. This helps to bring down the temperature considerably. So what I would suggest always is give the fever medicine first, wait for around 15 to 20 minutes, and then when you notice that if the temperature is not coming down, start with tepid sponging. Always use lukewarm water, as I told you, between 28 to 30 degrees centigrade. Never use ice cold water. The common tendency is to sponge the child with cold water, which is not going to help. In fact, it may even increase the baby's fever all the more. So use lukewarm water. Sponge the baby from head to toe, over the forehead, under the arms, on the chest, over the baby's back. If the temperature is extremely high, even a lukewarm water bath may be helpful. But of course, these should be avoided in small babies, especially below the age of 3 months. For bigger children, tepid sponging usually does the job, but in case the fever is extremely high, you can consider giving baby a lukewarm water bath. A very common question I get asked is whether I should start antibiotics for my child. So we should know that antibiotics are primarily used to treat bacterial infections. And in children, invariably, a majority of the times, the fevers are due to viral infections. So antibiotics do not work. So remember, don't start antibiotics for your child all by yourself. Antibiotics should only be started in consultation with a doctor. And many a times, parents start antibiotics directly without consulting a doctor, and these can actually affect the baby later on, because babies can develop resistance to these antibiotics, and later on when they are actually needed, the body may be resistant to it. So always talk to your doctor, and only if your doctor advises antibiotics, only then should they be started. Another common complaint parents have is that my child is not eating anything. What do I do? So it's quite common, even for us as adults, when we fall sick, we normally lose appetite. So we don't feel like eating anything. So that's the same thing that's happening with kids. So what you need to do is give small, frequent meals. So even if the child is not going to eat the 3 or 4 normal meals that he was eating before, break it down. So every hour or every couple of hours, try to offer something to your baby. Make sure that he's drinking lots of water, liquids, because he needs to stay hydrated. So small, frequent meals is important. However, if you find your baby not eating anything, absolutely nothing, refusing completely, then yes, you need to visit a doctor, because in that case, baby may need hydration in the form of IV fluids. So what are the important danger signs that you should look out for? So when a child has a fever, you should visit a doctor if your child is less than 3 months. Other important things that you should look out for when a baby has fever is, of course, if your baby is extremely lethargic, extremely drowsy, not waking up, or if your baby is extremely irritable and crying continuously, then you need to visit a doctor. If your baby is persistently vomiting or not accepting anything, then you need to consider visiting a hospital. Or if your child complains of headache or is having any breathing difficulty, or if your baby is having a very high fever of more than 104 degrees Fahrenheit, if there is any abnormal movements, or if your baby is behaving abnormally, and especially if your baby's fever has lasted for more than 4 or 5 days, under all these circumstances, you should consider visiting a doctor and getting an opinion and getting your baby examined. You can consider relaxing if your baby is otherwise active and playful, especially when there is no fever during the interfebrile phase. If your baby is otherwise feeding quite well and passing adequately urine, under these circumstances you can actually remain relaxed, because in all likelihood your baby just has a viral fever which should subside within 3 or 4 days time. Another common fear that parents have is that high fevers may cause seizures and brain damage. So this is not very common. These are referred to as febrile seizures. They more commonly occur between the ages of 6 months to 5 years of age. And it's more likely to happen if there is a family history of someone who had something similar like a febrile seizure when they were small, or if there is a similar episode in the past for your own child, then yes, there is a chance the child can have a febrile seizure. Invariably, children outgrow this by the age of 5 years, and these do not increase the chance that your baby can get epilepsy, and there is no proven record that they do cause any brain damage whatsoever. I hope I've been able to clarify most of your doubts regarding management of fever in babies. If you've liked this video, please click on the like button below and share this video with other parents who you think might benefit with this information. Also, subscribe to my channel so that you may get many more updates and other videos that may help you parent your child a lot more better. Thank you.